is actually a consumer of the Indian goods. I'm talking about the hair from India. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Power Breakfast Show. And of course, the feature. Wow! Yeah. People are questioning, my goodness, this hair that I have is actually from somebody in India.
I know.
How was it your experience in India? And how did you get to know about this particular story?
Well, initially, when I was going to India, we were going to cover the cancer story.
Yeah.
But when I was going, someone actually told me there's this story we hear that Indian people cut their hair, and it's something I'd once read on the internet. So I decided, since I'm in India, let me find out if this is true. And so I was asking, and you're just asking, but you're not sure. They said, yeah, it's something that happens. I'll take you to the temple. The person we were with, the guide, he's like, yeah, I'll take you to the temple.
This is normal.
Yeah, it's normal. But the only thing is that when we went there, most of the people are poor, the women who give up their hair. Because what usually is the concept is that people give thanks. They ask for requests. And then when that request is granted, they pay. Sort of, thank you for doing this. So there's some people who have money, they give money, precious stones. But those people who cannot afford, then they offer the sacrifice of their hair. So initially the hair used to be thrown away. But there's some brokers who decided this
business
this can be good cash, business. So they decided to start selling. So now 75,000 bags every year.
Wow. So now with the revelation that this is actually coming from people who are poor, who cannot donate, and the only thing that they can do is give their hair. Does that affect the kind of business that we have here?
Well, very many people have.
Because I mean, I don't see any weeds. Is it because of what you saw in India, and then you decided, man,
no,
this is it?
Actually, no, it was a coincidence. But I don't know if it should affect. It's just that just telling people that this is actually the process that happens before the hair gets here. But there are very many places where hair comes from. Peruvian hair, Brazilian hair. All the weaves and the wigs are not necessarily from India. But India usually brings the largest bulk because that now is considered virgin hair. If you talk to any like the lady I spoke to, she says, India has the best hair because it's virgin. There's human hair and there's virgin hair that no process has been done on it.
This is real.
It's just been cut from someone and cleaned and then shipped. Yeah, so that's a good thing. People prefer Indian hair because it's the real thing.
The real thing. I'm just a bit concerned here because somebody in Kenya perhaps who has never known that this is actually hair from India, and somebody poor had to actually be shaved.
Yes.
When you saw what was happening, how did you receive it?
It was actually, wow. It was a moment. Even when we were told about it, we got to the temple and we were like, let's go get the pictures and see how it happens.
Story.
But when you actually talk to someone, because there's a lady we had spoken to earlier, and she said that her children were sick, and so she had come to the temple with the children and asked that they be healed. And the children were healed. So they had all come, the mother, the children, her sister, they had all come to offer their sacrifice. And it's so innocent. Wow, then how they believe. I think even the most amazing bit is how they believe that by shaving their hair, they've given thanks to God for what has happened in their lives. Without even necessarily knowing or even caring where the hair is going to. Because most of them don't even care where it's going to. As long as, they have given their sacrifice, they've given their thanks to God, whatever happens to it, it's okay. So I guess that sort of unties any of the myths that, they gave their hair because they were poor, so it will come,
For them it's just true.
So it's just business, I guess,
Well, we saw you holding something and you sort of put it in the river water there. How significant was that for you?
Actually, when I went there, I was asking everyone, so tell me the story about the hair. Tell me the story about the hair. And everyone's like, you know what? The hair is just the least of, it's not even the story. It's just how people come and pray to God. Just the faith that is here. And that river Ganges, it's considered sacred, and when you come there, you send your prayer requests. So that is what they wanted me to see. The way you go there with a specific mindset. I've come here to see how people are shaving their hair. They're like, no,
this is not
that's
a big
not the story.
Yeah.
Just how people travel miles and miles to just come and pray. So, it's the process of you now saying, this is my wish. sending it to go.
Did you have some wishes when you did that? Or was just
Okay, well, for me, it may not have had the same impact, but for them, I may just have done it, though, of course, now you just pray. Everyone has their own. You cannot sort of criticize anyone's religion. But it was amazing just seeing how much they hold on to their traditional values. And it sort of sends a lot home, you know, about,
All right. Big things happening in terms of features?
Yeah. We will continue. Of course, now, you know, some people are saying, these are things we never knew about. So we strive to sort of inform people. But because someone was asking me, what about if we have cancer and we have to shave all our hair? What can we put? You know, so many people are reacting to the story differently. But the most important thing is that at least people get to know such things happen. Not necessarily because we've carried the story of it, we've aired the story now. It means that people shouldn't put, though people have been telling us stories that some hair is usually not washed properly, so when people put it on, it infects them, or things like that. So I guess the role that that story played was just to inform Kenyans that this is what happens. So whatever you may want to do with the information is entirely up to you.
It's up to you. All right. Evelyn Wambui there, of course, talking to us about her feature. Amazing feature indeed. Now, immediately after this, we'll be talking about the fate of victims. We're looking at the ICC cases at The Hague. So far, we've been talking about the prosecution. We've been talking about the defense teams. What about the victims? We'll be talking about that shortly, so don't go away. We'll be right back.